And they are stocking trout into the pond. Stocking rainbow trout.
Yeah, I heard all about it.
Uh-huh.
Maybe your glimpse passing over
so
the
we're on the Santa Clara
park.
riverbed up there. And it's going to be a lot of money up front, but if longevity... No more open, yeah. Okay. Every day, they're about 2.5 pounds right now. They're getting big. So we want to get them up maybe in that 4 to 5 pound range, and then do a scoop in every truck wherever we're going.
Yeah, that'd be neat.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
That was really cool to watch. Glad I decided to take my walk at Clark Park this morning. We're at the Fullerton airport this morning. Getting some steps in and checking out the classic aircraft display that's going on today. Fullerton Airport's where the Wings Cafe is. Pretty good restaurant. So this is an old Cessna 170 tail dragger. They gotta be a pain in the rear to actually taxi with because you don't really have a view of the ground ahead of you. And keeping on the theme of tail draggers, it's a really nicely painted, looks like a Yosemite also. This little bubble on the side of the door gives you a nice view downward, which is kind of nice if you're a bush pilot. And this is an aircraft I'm going to have to look up later because I have no idea what it is. Nice paint job though. Now, Moonies I've heard of, and this is a Mooney Ranger. They have the nice little reverse rudder. Let's call them aircraft. I think I heard about this type of aircraft before, but I'm not too familiar with it. I know most of my military aircraft, civil aviation, not my strong point. And I think this is an auxiliary generator, which if it is, that's kind of cool to have on an aircraft. Keeps the instruments running. Well, I think this is a Blanca Viking, mainly because there's a Viking in the window. Actually, I think that's Haggard from the cartoons, but pretty cool. Well, this was definitely a cool way to get my steps in and spend part of Sunday morning. But it's time to head back home. This morning I'm walking at Bolsa Chica, specifically to do a little bird watching, see if I can find some foraging terns. And I heard they're supposed to be nesting great blue herons, so we'll see what we can see. And we have a brown pelican just resting on the rocks. Hello, good morning. Didn't mean to disturb you. Go back to what you're doing. And we're going to head a little bit uphill to see if we can find the great blue heron nests that are supposedly in the palm trees. I can hear the cackles of young herons. calling out, "I'm hungry, Mom." And you can tell it's spring. Not only are all the birds out here in the wetlands, we also have a boatload of photographers taking pictures of the birds out here in the wetlands. Now I found where all the foresters' terns are hanging out, making a big racket. Well, that was a decent walk this morning. Managed to find my foraging terns and my nesting great blue herons. So, worth the trip down here. A long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away. Actually, it wasn't that long ago, and not that far away, that I decided to give Light Sabers to sea otters using old school special effects. It was for a gag reel for a marine mammal conference in the 2000s, and it sort of escalated from there. When I visit Galaxy's Edge, along with Chewbacca and other characters, I feel like I'm visiting the horse ghosts of Darth Otter and Otter-Wan Kenobi. But then that's just me.
Huh? Oops.
One of the more unique things I've done in the past was to train a sea lion to use a selfie stick. The video that the sea lion shot went viral and created one of my 15 minutes of fame moments.
A view of an underwater adventure from a sea lion's perspective. You thought it would be cool to see a swimming sea lion from the same angles surfers and other action sport athletes do. So he mounted a GoPro and float to a pole to create the selfie stick.
It's amazing what a little positive reinforcements can accomplish. And what we got driving by right now is an M20, and there's a guy on top shooting a 50 cal. Getting my steps in this morning, taking in the reenactors at the Plains of Fame Air Museum in Chino, California. It's a special event going on.
This is a M20 Greyhound. It's a armored car, recon vehicle. So this is World War II. It was made by Ford in 1944. And it was a scout car. So they would scout on outside. They would crew of 4.
Okay.
They had a driver, co-driver, gunner, and a map reader.
Hi, you look well armed.
Oh yeah, well, you know.
Now, is it representing like a 1921 or 1928? 1928. Okay.
Yeah, they're similar.
Without the handle that looks like the gangster.
Well, you know what they called them in Chicago? The Chicago typewriter. You could write your name with it.
Well, that's pretty awesome. Getting my steps in, marching along with a variety of reenactors in uniform.
Ready. 8. Fire!
Not a bad way to spend my morning walk. And we're back at Bolsa Chica this morning, getting my steps in and hopefully taking in some of the least terns that are supposedly nesting right now. Well, we have a few terns starting to nest now. We have 2 or 3 nesting pairs of least terns, a very entertaining snowy plover underneath its custom-made wire cage, and it's kind of cool. They actually made a protective cage for the snowy plovers. I guess they were being harassed by the least terns, so to give them a chance to nest, they made a cage for it that it can get in and out of and be protected. Well, that was pretty unusual to witness. We had a helicopter landing in a parking lot just on the other side of Bolsa Chica. Not quite sure why it landed there, but yeah, that was an interesting sight to see. In addition to the bird life around here. This snowy egret's actually following the cormorant. Must think it knows where all the good food is. Well, my tally for this walk this morning at Bolsa Chica includes foraging egrets, foraging cormorants, nesting least terns, nesting snowy plovers, and a helicopter landing and taking off at the far end of the wetlands. So, quite an interesting walk this morning.